Good morning. We made it to the weekend. Happy Saturday. Let's go. Housekeeping. Let's see. I forgot to create an event in Discord. So let me do that really quick. We'll pop a quick event in Discord here. What is this stream's topic? The stream's topic is .NET developer programming with code with Go. Let's see, we're starting at 4, let's say 4:30, we're gonna go 7. Here. Okay, that's created. Wonderful. We have our stream up, we have our Discord up, we got OBS up. I need to pin a message. Good morning. We are back. Trying to be a good developer for a bit. Coffee. All right. So what's on the docket today? The docket today is going to consist of... Hold on. Is my Discord bot dead? Oh no. Okay, you're back. I completely forgot what I was trying to do. Oh, for whatever reason, my Discord bot did not alert my Discord that I was live. I think it's because I scheduled the stream to start in the past. So let's see if we can fix that. I think if I go in here and I... There we go. Okay, so we're gonna solve some admin code problems this morning. Or at least that's the plan. That's the plan. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate you. I think I called it like practice go. That's what I called it. Hello, I Love Lamp. Good to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well, sir. We made it to the weekend. Saturday over here for me. It's always nice to make it to another weekend, you know? Alright, let's see. How do we want to... I guess today we'll start with more admin of code. Nice. Saturday for you too? Awesome. You guys got any plans for your weekend? We have zero plans, besides maybe play a bunch of Call of Duty, have a Lord of the Rings marathon, drink some coffee, try to overcome all the sickness that has invaded our house. It's funny because whenever I go back to work on Monday at our stand-up, one of the guys I work with, he always asks us like, "So, what everybody do this weekend?" You know, and it's funny because he doesn't have kids, you know, so he's always got something cool that he did, and me, I'm always like, "Yeah, I don't know, I just kind of enjoyed my rent all weekend." Slept late? Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, sometimes you need days like that. Sleep in a little bit, wake up slow. Those are good days. Oh, I don't want Edge. I want Zen. Alright, so here's the plan. We are currently... Oh my good luck, look at all my drawings. We are currently here in our Go learning adventure. So we're currently just doing old admin of code problems. So yesterday we did day 1 of last year's. So I guess today it just makes the most logical sense to do day 2 of last year. So we'll do red nose report. Oops. Red nose report. Like that. Let me sleep again. What you need? You feel like you need more sleep? Man, I love that. I love that testing is built into Go. I will say that. I think that's probably one thing that Go has up on C# is the fact that like they're just there. It's baked in. And then we'll need an example.txt, and we'll need an input.txt like that. This is our example. Wonderful. Then we'll need our actual input. I don't know what the puzzle is yet, but I'm just collecting the things, you know. So here's our puzzle input. Oh my gosh, this is a long one. You always got to be careful when if you're copying and pasting this stuff, because if you copy and paste it wrong, you might be frustrated for a little while why your solution doesn't work. So, what do we need to do? All right. That's part 2. Okay, so there's always this. We'll fall whenever we do the actual admin of code this year. We will read the actual story, but since these are last year's and we're just kind of doing this for practice, I'm just kind of speed running through the stories. Hey man, saw that stream was. Well, thanks for letting me know, Artwork Studios. I'm glad you handled your business before coming to the stream. All right, so each report is a list of numbers called levels that are separated by spaces. So this is our input. Many reports, one report per line. So each line represents a report, and then each report has levels, which are represented by a number. This example data contains 6 reports, each containing 5 levels. The engineers are trying to figure out which reports are safe. The red-nose refactor safety systems can only tolerate levels that are either gradually increasing or gradually decreasing. So a report only counts as safe if both of the following are true. The levels are either all increasing or all decreasing. Any 2 adjacent levels differ by at least 1 and at most 3. In the example above, the reports can be found safe or unsafe by checking those rules. So in this example, 2 reports are safe. Okay, so in this case, so yesterday what we did was we had this function that read the lines like this. Yeah? So I think what I probably want to do is I think I probably want to have a package here in Tantai. Why not Rust? I don't know. Why not Java? Why not Ruby? Why not JavaScript? Why not? I don't know, man. Why not? There's a lot of why nots. The best answer I have for you is just because Go sounded like fun. So that's why we're here. Yeah, why not Rockstar? Why not Brainfuck? Why not C? Why not C++? Yeah, well, I guess the only real reason we chose Go, I think originally, was because at some point, if you're one of the OG people, at some point, like back in like, I don't know, it was whenever TypeScript announced they were doing the rewrite of the compiler in Go, that conversation came up on stream. And so then somebody said they were also learning Go, and then I said that, well, if Anders Hejlsberg thinks Go is a good language, maybe I should learn it, because obviously I love C# and TypeScript. Both of those are from Anders Hejlsberg's brain. So I guess that's the real, I mean, there's really not a great intellectual reason, but if I had to try to contrive one, that would be it. Nonetheless, I appreciate you being here, NG Tantai, but I don't have a good answer for you. Yeah. So what I was going to say is we should probably like package file, right? And we should probably take this code because we're gonna need to read lines of a file all the time in Advent of Code this year. So we should probably pull some of this like reusable methods and stuff into packages. So like this one seems like a good one. Like being able to read the lines of a file definitely seems helpful. So let's bring that one over here. And let's stick it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. So there's a method to read all the lines of a file, but I think we should also have a method that lets us stream the lines of a file. Because in the case of, yeah, we can do channel string. Yeah, because in the case of today's puzzle, we don't really actually need to know about each line to make a decision. Or every line in the input, we only have to make a decision about these lines, right? So analyze the usual data from the engineers, how many reports are safe, right? So in order to create a count of how many reports are safe, we can just process each line one by one. So is this safe? Increment it. If this is safe, increment it, right? So I think it's helpful to have a streamlines file, and the way we can do this is using channels and Go routines. So we can essentially, I'm going to turn off Copilot so it doesn't just steal all my learnings. Born to Shine. Is it NeoVim or on Windows? It is Born to Shine. It is NeoVim on Windows, and it is glorious. Actually, it's NeoVim in PowerShell in Windows Terminal on Windows 11. I love LAMP. Yeah, I see all your messages, man. I don't know what I'm looking at above. I have no idea. I've answered all of your messages, my friend. Hey, what's up, Sam? Good to see you, man. All right, so we're going to have lines here, and this is going to be a channel of string. And then I think all we have to do differently is obviously we still need to open the file. Actually, we should probably do... We should probably actually do this first, shouldn't we? Excuse me. We'll do... And then we probably shouldn't make the channel until we know we can open the file. And then we probably should actually return an error. So we'll make the signature a little different. Like that. And then we'll need a scanner like we have down below. Scanner buff io dot new scanner. And I think this is where we want to use a go routine, right? I think here we want to do go func, and it's going to be an immediately invoked function, and then inside the function I think is where we want to do our sending and receiving. Hey Harsh, what's up? Glad you were able to make it, man. Artwork Studio lives here, basically. Yeah, basically. But I'm glad, you know, I'm glad he's able to make the stream every time. I really appreciate it. Obviously, I don't expect you to live here, though, man. You can have a life. But I appreciate you being here. So with every go routine, how do I want to do this? I mean, I guess I need to scanner.scan, right? And then I need to send the text to the channel, right? So that would be channel, or no, lines. This, and then scanner.text. Is that correct? So in this case, I'm sending the text to the lines. I should probably this is the first time I've ever used the channel all in a go routine all by myself, so I should probably double check this. Go send value to channel. Yeah. So the channel's on the left, and then the value's coming in from the right. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? This looks too simple though, because this is only gonna get called once, right? So do I actually need to like loop inside here? Oh, Allie the AI is back. What's up, Allie the AI? Hey, what's up, Victor? Hey man, how has been your Golang experience? It's been pretty good, Victor. There's really only been like a couple things that I thought, man, this is kind of dumb, but it's really not things that you have to do. Like the one thing that comes to mind is naked returns. Naked returns with named return parameters seem kind of dumb to me, so that's actually something like this. So you might be like, well, what the hell does that mean? It means basically in Go, you can do something like this where you say some function, right? And let's say this function returns a string, and let's go ahead and give that string a name, right? So this string's name is X, or actually let's call it stir. And then we can actually just call return, and implicitly stir will be returned without us doing anything else. So we don't have to specify it here, it just automatically happens. That's the whole idea of a naked return. But I can actually use this named return variable in the body of the function. So I can actually be like stir equals hello, and then I can be like stir equals world, right? So I can actually do things with that named variable in the body of the function and then implicitly return it, which to me just seems confusing. But that's been the only real thing, Victor, that I've learned about Go where I was like, this no good. The things that I've really enjoyed about Go is I do like this channel. I do like their concurrency model. I like this idea of using channels to communicate between the Go routines. That's pretty cool. I like the fact that there are, I like the fact that there's only one way to loop. I think that's really smart. I think that simplifies life a lot. So if you want to do a forever loop, you just write a for loop like that. If you want to do, if you want to range over something, like maybe you want to say for line range over lines like this. Whoops. You can do something like that, you know? So like, I think it's really succinct, all the looping construct. What else? I'm trying to think of other things that I've liked about it. Seems like there's a pretty robust standard library that comes with out of the box. Yeah, that's all that really comes to mind. I want to make a video at some point once I've been working with it for a bit more, like things I like, things I don't like about it. But for the most part, I think it's a win. You know, a win is a win. Okay, so I think in order to do this, I actually need to do this in a loop. So we're gonna defer close lines, and then we are gonna defer file.close. We're gonna make sure we close the file. Oh, we should also do that down here, shouldn't we? Defer file.close. I don't actually know if the close method gets automatically called, but we should probably make sure we close it. Okay, so we're basically going to do what we're doing down below. We're just going to do it in a Go routine. So we're going to do for scanner.scan like this. And we'll just take the text and send it to our lines channel. I think there's probably some error handling that I'm ignoring here, but I think this will work for what we need to do. Okay. I like it. So we have a read lines function, which gets us all the lines in the file, and then we have a streamlines function. The idea here is we're just taking one line at a time, and if the caller wants to, they can collect the lines, but they don't necessarily have to. I'm not going to actually write any tests for this right now. This is complaining because this needs a package string, so this is a package file provides utility functions for reading files, or maybe just working with files. Okay. This guy's still upset. Hey Sam, are you still here? What? Should check error return from os.open before deferring file close. Oh, good idea. Good idea. If Sam is still here, what was the thing that makes me he told me a setting in my Lua configuration for NeoVim that allows me to keep the column on the right side of my screen open. And I can't remember the left side of my screen open. I can't remember what it was. It was like Lua vim.op.sign column something. Was it yes? Yeah, I think that's what it was. Lua. No? Yeah, that's what it was. Uh-oh, my music. It died. Okay. Now back to the actual problem we're going to solve. So we basically need to import the testing package. And then we need to declare a function called test. I actually don't know what I'm going to call the function yet. So the way I did this, if I remember last year when I solved this with C#, the way I did it was I basically took like an object-oriented approach where a report was a class, and the report had a private field that had a list of numbers, and then that report class had the ability to determine if its levels were safe or not. So I guess we could take a similar approach with Go, right? So we could have a struct. Yeah. So let's just write out our test here. So test solve with example inputs with example puzzle. And our expected value is going to be 2. So we have 2 safe reports. So 2. And our result is going to be equal to solution.solve. And we're going to pass in example.txt as our file. And you might be saying, well, where does solution come from? Well, solution comes from aliasing our package. So we'll say solution is equal to github.com/Stephen Freeborn /practice go /red nosed report. Right? Also, I should probably rename this. How did I do it over here? Also, please know if you're watching me and you're thinking, this is how you write Go. Please be aware that I have not been writing Go for more than like 15 days. So anything you see me do, take with a grain of salt. And if you know Go, please feel free to correct me at any point in time. I'd be happy to learn from you. So let's clear a type. Why does it say that this doesn't have an importable package? Do I need to go mod tidy? Do I just need to have a function in there? I do function. JQRS, thanks for subbing, man. I appreciate it. Function, solve. AWOL, thanks for subbing. Appreciate you guys. So you need to return an int. For now, we'll just return 0. Okay, so why did this work yesterday? If expected, or whoops, if result does not equal expected, then we will say t.errf, and then we'll say got %d, but wanted %d. So got result, but wanted expected. Okay, everyone's happy now. So this must have been just a problem I was... Let's see, could not import, no required module provides package. Okay. So I don't understand, because yesterday I did the exact same thing. So yesterday I have main.go, right? And then in main test, I just imported so what did I do differently? Wow, I'm spamming pauses why are you spamming pauses everywhere? Oh, Victor said, those naked returns are cool when dealing with diff first statements. I write Go code a lot, and I'm currently learning Zig. Nice. Yeah, I've heard good things about Zig. Never written any of it myself, though. Maybe one day. Random Talk, thanks for subbing. I appreciate it. See you, Artwork Studios. Have a good day, man. So it knows that solve exists. I'm stuck. We're stuck. But I'm stuck on like the silliest thing. I don't know why. Okay, so if I bring this over to here, does this work? GitHub import as solver and not was used. Okay, so what if I want to import red nose report? Oh. Oh my goodness. That's why. Solution. I'm a dummy. I spelled it red nosed report instead of red nose report. Dude, the lo-fi generator is all over the place with the music today. Alright, so this is obviously going to fail. So if we go to red nose report, and we clear this, and we go test, this is going to fail, right? Yep, which is what we want. Okay, first thing let's make sure that my streamlines method actually does what I think it should do. So let's go file, and we will do dot streamlines. So what we should be able to do is we should be able to say for line, let's range over this channel. Oh, actually, hold on. We actually need to say lines air equals file dot streamlines, and then we'll say if air does not equal nil, we'll just return 0. Which in the real world we probably would panic or something, wouldn't we? Not enough arguments to call. Oh yeah, we need to pass on file path. And then instead of this, we would do lines like that. Let's just print the lines. Let's just make sure we're getting all the lines of our puzzle like we would expect. So we'll say fmt dot print line. It's like that function was made to do it. Got 0 but wanted 10. Okay, so what's the problem here? Oh, the problem is that we probably have to specify the path differently now, because this is probably looking for path maybe over here. So let's do, well, let me test that really quick. So we'll do copy path, and let's copy the path to example.txt. And we'll go back over to our main.test. Instead of just saying this, let's pass in the complete. Which Go doesn't seem to like the Windows path separator. Nobody likes the Windows path separator. There we go. Yeah, so it was just a path thing, but we are getting all the lines of our file. Oh shoot! How do I? Oh shoot! PowerToys isn't open. I was like, why can't I draw on the screen? Well, PowerToys isn't up and running. Hey, what's up, Renee? Good to see you. Thanks for being a member again, Renee. Appreciate you. Just terminal. Did you use Astrobim or something? No, this is my package manager is lazy, but I pretty much built this all from scratch with the help of a course on YouTube called NeoVim for Noobs. So if you've ever, you can actually get my full configuration if you type, I think, NeoVim in the chat, exclamation point NeoVim. There you go. But I took this course from Typecraft called NeoVim for Noobs. Right, this one right here, and he actually walks you through kind of setting up your NeoVim configuration from scratch. So this is kind of the base of my configuration, and of course I've kind of made it my own over the last 9 months or so. I've only been using NeoVim since February, chat. Yeah, like February I started using NeoVim, so I'm relatively new to the whole thing. But yeah, the base, a large portion of the base of the configuration comes from that, following that course, and then a lot of the .NET, C#, debug, adapters, a lot of that functionality I've just added over time. Because to me, it's like absolutely mission critical that I can debug my tests. What's this say? Nil check, escape. 2 escapes to heap. What? Did I do something? I don't know what this means. Nil check, escape. A noob. Shall I learn file handling, multi-threading in Java? What kind of questions come in admin of code? I think admin of code is typically a lot of data structure and algorithm hidden behind a Christmas themed story. So probably you definitely need to know how to read from a file, because your puzzle inputs you're likely going to want to read in from a file. So you definitely want to know how to do that. And particularly, you'll probably want to know how to read, like, you'll probably want to be able to parse a file line by line, as well as, like, character by character. You'll probably want to be able to do all those things. As far as multi-threading, I don't think you don't necessarily, you could definitely benefit from knowing how to use concurrency and parallelism in your language to solve some of the problems, because there are problems where you can't brute force them, like, or you can brute force them like on small inputs, but then when they give you the actual input, the input's too large to brute force it. Obviously, you can kind of get around that if you know how to do some multi-threading or some parallelism. But still, in some cases, that's not that, it would take you a week to solve the problem. So that's not really realistic. But I think file handling and some DSA practice is probably enough to get you prepared for admin of code. That's my approach. I think it's good to know how to do breadth first search and depth first search, because that always comes up, it seems like, at some point. Okay. I think what I'd like to have now, honestly, it could be as simple as this. I could have a function. And actually, let's put the function down below. So we could have a function called isSafe, right? And that function takes a string. That is our line, and it returns a bool. Yeah, it could literally be as simple as this to solve this, right? So it could be total is 0, and then we just basically say if is safe, we will. Oh shoot, Copilot's on. Copilot's going to solve this for me if I don't turn it off. Yeah, so if it is safe, then we increase the total, and then down here we just return the total. Now, the real work begins implementing is safe. So the first thing we need to do is we just need to get a slice of characters, basically, or a slice of ints. So the way we can do that is we can say levels equals line dot split, or no, it's strings dot split, and then we can pass in the line, and we can pass in a space as the thing we want to split on. Why is this complaining? Undefined line. Oh, I'm trying to type it like C#. These get swapped. It should be line and then the type. It should be name and then the type, like that. Okay, so now that we have the levels, we need to convert the levels to strings, and we learned yesterday the way we do this is we can say I think actually I want to call this level, yeah, that's fine, levels, and then we'll say levels nums, and this is going to be a slice of int. Oh, I also need to set my Lua vim.op sign column equals yes. So at this point, we just need to loop over the for level range levels. So this is kind of like your for each syntax in C#. And then we will say num equals strings dot, it's some sort of weird, it's not what you would expect it to be. That's what I remember. To parse a string to an int, it's some weirdly named method or function. So it's like, where is it? Yeah, down here. String convert dot ATOI. This is what we're doing. ATOI. ATOI. I wonder what ATIO stands for. ATOI is equivalent to parse int converted to type int. Why is it complaining? Oh, that's because this is the index. I don't want the index, I want the actual level, the actual value, the actual string. Then we'll take level nums and we will append the num. So now we have our actual numbers, right? So at this point, imagine at this point we now have a slice filled with these, right? Now, the way we check to see if something is safe is levels are all moving in one direction, meaning they're always going up or they're always going down, and the distance between two levels cannot be greater, no, cannot be less than 1 or greater than 3. That's the condition. Like, you're like, why, Steven? I don't know. That's just what they decided, okay? The levels are either all increasing or decreasing, and any two adjacent levels differ by at least 1. and at most 3. Which means we should be able to say basically for I, and we can say range over the length of levels nums, right? So this is another way to do a for loop without having to actually say for I is less than the length of levels nums I plus plus. So instead of doing that type of a loop, we're just basically saying give me all the, for every, you know, for the length of levels num, give me each of the indexes, right? And what we can do there is then we can say current level, and then we can say next level, right? So we can say current level is going to be equal to levels nums, which is I, and the next level we'll just look ahead, we'll just peek ahead by doing levels num I plus 1. And then we can say, we can calculate the distance, can't we? So first thing we can do is we can say distance is equal to next level minus current level. And we can actually, we should be able to actually do an absolute, because it doesn't matter if it's going up or if it's going down. We just care that the distance between these two numbers, right? So we can do a float 64 like that. There we go. Takano, thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate you. All right, so if the distance is less than 1 or distance is greater than 3, this is not safe. So we can just return out of the function and say false. Otherwise, we will return true. So we'll just look for the conditions where we should break, and we'll return out. So if that's true at all at any point in this sequence of numbers, we need to get out of here. This report is unsafe. And then the next condition, is we're basically keeping track of like the total, I guess, right? Like how would we know if it's always increasing or if it's always decreasing? Yeah, ATOI is strange. Anyone know? Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. Like why wouldn't you just say like why wouldn't you just call it parse int? Gerald Kingston, hi, I'm new to this channel. Which language is this? Hey Gerald, good to see you. This is a Go. We are currently learning, or I'm currently learning Go. So I normally work in .NET and TypeScript most of the time, but we're going to do Advent of Code this December, and I wanted to use a different language, and so my choice for that was Go. And I don't have a good reason for it. It just seemed like a good idea, so that's what we're doing. And what we're doing right now is we're basically spending the month of November sort of practicing to try to get like semi-proficient in Go so that we can actually have fun in December. I'm basically trying to avoid a lot of Steven rage quitting on stream during Advent of Code 2025. I don't understand anything. Can you tell me more about Go? So do you know anything about programming languages, programming in general, Gerald? Like, do you write code already? And if you do write code already, what language do you write code in? Okay, so you do write code. So what language do you use, or what language do you know already? Programming language developed by Google with performance in mind. JavaScript. Okay, yeah, cool. So this will actually make a lot of sense to you then. What Renee said, it's a language that was developed by Google. It's supposed to be sort of C-like in some ways. I think it actually has a very JavaScripty feel to it, honestly. But the difference between Go and JavaScript is an interpreted dynamic language, right? Which means in JavaScript, there's not any type safety. You don't compile it. You take the code that you write in JavaScript and you hand it to another program, and that program parses and interprets your code and actually then runs it, right? So Go is different from that in that Go is statically typed and it's compiled, which means in Go, you can't just pass numbers and strings and objects around and treat them all the same. You have to sort of basically declare this is a string, or this is some user defined type. So it's more akin to like something, if you're familiar with things like C#, or if you're familiar with any other languages that have static typing. TypeScript it sort of gives you static types, right? They give you static types sort of at compile time, not necessarily runtime. Um, Go, and then the other difference between Go and JavaScript is Go is compiled. So you actually take Go, in order to use the code that you wrote, you actually compile it to native code that your machine can run, which means that you get a little bit of performance benefit because when you run your code, you don't have to also compile and run it, right? Some other program doesn't have to compile and run it all at the same time. That's already done for you ahead of time. So when you run the program, you usually have a little bit more performance benefits. But it's a good language. Yeah, if you're coming from a JavaScript background, I don't think it'd be too difficult to pick up. And JavaScript's a great language. Not to say that JavaScript's not a great language. I think JavaScript's a perfectly fine language. I know a lot of people like to dunk on it around the internet, but it's pretty much eating the world, you know? Okay, so how would I know? How would I know its edge at the start was around threading? You guys can Google it. There you go. Yeah. So there you go. You can Google it. The thing though, the thing with Go though, it seems like a lot of people can't quite. Which code editor do you use? I use NeoVim. VS Code, Rider, Visual Studio. I kind of bounce between all those. Right now, I'm using NeoVim. So the thing is, Renee, about that whole idea, the threading idea. So Go routines though aren't actually necessarily different threads, right? This is a Go routine is like a construct of Go. So like you can technically have Go routines that are actually using the same machine thread, right? Like there's no guarantee when you're using Go routines that you're actually truly parallelizing the work. At least that's how I understand it. Am I understanding incorrectly, or is that correct? Born to Shine. Golang is like a lightweight version of C. This is the simplest way to understand it. I've never written any C, so the analogy doesn't mean a lot to me, but for people that have written C, I'm sure that's very helpful. So I think what I need to do here is I don't know. Tell me if this thinking is wrong. But I think what I can do is I can have a total distance variable, right? And what I can do is I can calculate the distance, and then I can So how do I know? So I have to loop one time. I have to go through my loop. I have to go through my loop at least once to figure out, am I increasing or decreasing, right? So like here, if I start here at this beginning of this loop with 7 and 6, I don't know whether I'm increasing or decreasing yet, right? But after I go through and I calculate the distance as 1, right? On the next iteration, I'm looking at 6 and 4. So now I know we should always be going down, right? We should always be, this should always be negative. Right? Or no, if we're going down, basically current. So the first time we go through, next is less than current, which means now from forever going forward, next should always be less than current. Okay, that might be actually simpler than what I was going to try to do. So let's say direction is equal to nil to start with. Or equal to an empty string to start with. Let's just start there. We can check the distance first. Then we can say if direction equals an empty string, that means we're coming through this for the first time. We can just continue. If direction is increasing, no, well, we want to do something here with this. So in here, we want to say if direction is empty, then we need to set the direction, which means we need to say if current level is less than, or no, is greater than next level, then direction needs to be set to decreasing. Otherwise, direction needs to be increasing. I guess what happens if they're the same? If the same, we'll never reach that block, because if they're the same, then we'll return false. Okay, so then we should only ever run this code the very first time. Then we'll say if direction is equal to increasing, we need to make sure if current level is greater than... No, if current level is less than... No, if current level is greater than next level, we'll return false. If direction equals decreasing, then... Oh, and current level is less than next level, return false. Sorry, Chad, I'm not ignoring you. It's just I can't... My skills as a programmer are strained enough as is. Shiraj, thanks for subbing. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think this will work. So let me just recap my thinking here. So if the distance, if we don't fit within this range, we'll return false, right? Because it always needs to be increasing or decreasing by a distance greater than 1 but less than 3, or less than 3 or less. And then if the direction is an empty string, we're on the first iteration, we're trying to figure out which direction we're going. If the direction is increasing, then we need to make sure that the current level isn't greater than the next level, because if we're increasing, the next should always be going up. And then the same thing with decreasing. Otherwise, we're going to return true. I think this is right. The other thing we need to do is we need to make sure when we're ranging over the length, since we are looking ahead by 1, we don't want to actually go to the end. We want to go to 1 off the end. Otherwise, we'll run over the edge of the array. So let's see if our solution here works. So we'd expect, in our example problem, we'd expect there to be 2 unsafe reports. We got 1. Okay. We got 1 unsafe report. So I'm guessing there's something wrong with my logic here. My brain just exploded. I parroted Google's claims of their threads using a lower memory footprint due to the splitting of traditional threads. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking horseshit now. Let me double check. I'm not an electrical engineer. Yeah, I guess I just didn't... based on my understanding of their concept of threads, like it's kind of similar to C#. Like C#, like if you're using async await in C#, that doesn't necessarily mean your code's going to run on separate threads. It can, doesn't necessarily mean it will. If you use the parallelism library in C#, then you're actually parallelizing work, where things are actually happening simultaneously. And that was I got the same feeling from Go's concurrency model, where they sort of have this Go routine, which is sort of their construct of a thread, which could or couldn't be running on different threads. But I could be wrong. I'm new to Go, so I could be totally wrong. Okay, so I think it would be helpful to know which line is safe, right? So let's print out which line we are on. Okay, so we're hitting 1, 3, 6, 7, 9, we're saying is safe. So we're missing that first report. So why are, the question is, we seem to be capturing whenever it's increasing, but we don't seem to be capturing when it's decreasing. And so then the question would be, okay, I see. Yeah, concurrency and parallelism can really fuck you up because it's like, you can't have one without the, or you can't have one without the other, right? So it's like, they're just not the same thing. But when people talk about them, they talk about them almost like they're the same thing, but they're not. And I think that confuses a lot of people. Okay, so let's print this. Format, print line. So we're going to print every line. And then down here, what we're going to do is I want to see who's hitting because of distance. Format dot print line. I could probably do this with the debugger, but I'm just going to print F my way through it. Fail because of distance. So only one is failing because of distance, which is what I would expect. So what is this one failing because of, right? This is the one that we should be returning as safe, but we're not. So why is that one failing? I'm thinking it's got to be here, right? There's only 3 places. Failed because not decreasing. There's only like 3 places that can be returned out of this as being unsafe. Okay, so why is it hitting failed because not increasing? But direction here should be decreasing. Or rather, more accurate, 2 megs is set aside for the thread even if only a small fraction of that is needed, whereas in Go, they only use the required memory when starting up the thread. Interesting. Interesting. Well, what I know is it seems speedy and works fine for me. For a web developer like me, it's not. You know, JavaScript is single-threaded JavaScript is plenty enough for me. Okay, so there's a bug in my logic here somewhere. Let's think about this. So the first time we come through, if the current level is greater than the next level, right? Then the direction is decreasing. Yep. Oh. everything is always being set to increasing, right? Because we're just following through here, right? So direction is empty. If this is true, we set it, and then we set it again. So to make this work, we'd have to do a continue here too, or you could do an else, you know. Does Go have a ternary operator? Does Go have a ternary operator? No ternary? Ah, that sucks. I hate if-else statements. Even though I know ternaries are if-else statement, I hate them. Okay, that's fine. We'll just add an extra continue there. Okay, so we can remove our print lines. Honestly, you know what? If this would actually be a little bit easier to debug, honestly, if instead of just returning a total, we actually returned the lines, the safe lines, right? And then we could just derive the total from the number of lines. That would probably be easier to debug on the test side. But that's okay. We'll do this. So I think this will pass now. Yep, that passes. Okay, we don't need to print the lines anymore though. So now let's run this against our actual input. So this was just with our example input. Now we're actually going to do this against our real input. And I solved this last year, so we know what the expected is, right? Which is, I guess, one of the good things about practicing with solution that we know that we have the solutions for. So last year my answer was 407, but so this is what we should expect this time. And it passed. Okay, cool. Solved. Part 1. Solved. Wonderful. It was fast too, huh? Go test. Boom, fast. Half a second. Like that. If you know Go, you should answer the difficult Go questions, not me. I'm just putting chat to work this morning. So what is part 2? So the engineers are surprised by the low number of safe reports until they realize they forgot to tell you about the problem dampener. The problem dampener is a reactor-mounted module that lets the reactor safety systems tolerate a single bad level in what would otherwise be a safe report. It's like the bad level never happened. Now the same rules apply as before, except if removing a single level from an unsafe report would make it safe, the report instead counts as safe. More of the above examples reports are now safe. Oh, interesting. So it's almost like now we don't move the next. So it's almost like if you fail, right? So if you're coming along and you encounter one that fails, in this case, I think it would be 3 and 2 fail, right? Because this isn't always increasing. So 1 and 3 pass, but 3 and 2 do not. In which case now we basically want to rerun this thing using... We want to rerun our logic using... We want to back up, basically. Remove 3, back up, and instead of it now being at 3 and 2, we want it to be at 1 and 2. And then I think we kind of have a similar problem here where we're going from 8 and 6 pass 6 to 4 passes, but 4 to 4 doesn't pass because the distance isn't great enough. In which case, we want to back up again and say does 6 and this 4 pass. So it's like we're always moving the current back one and rerunning the loop. Okay. Well, I'm going to go refill my coffee cup and then we'll come back and see if we can't solve solution numero 2. Let's rename this solve part 1. And we should be able to reuse some of our logic. Not all of it, but some of it. Split pane up. And we're going to display our be right back message, which we're super proud. We're super proud of this. Or at least I am. It's very much on brand for the stream. Okay, chat. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm super proud of it. I don't know if chat's super proud of it, but it's very on brand. All right, I'm going to go refill my coffee cup. If you guys are going to stick around and hang out for longer, awesome. I'll be right back. If you're going to move on because you don't want to stare at an empty chair, which I totally get, thank you for hanging out with me for however long you've been hanging out. I hope you have a good day. And for those of you who are going to be here when I come back, don't forget to remind me that I muted myself. I'm back. Back with more caffeine. Hey, what's up, Mason? Good to see you, man. Did you just get here? Oh, we got someone from Iran in Discord. Oh, yeah, that's Armin. And we got someone from Korea. Nice. South Korea. Nice. Very cool. Just got here. Nice. Very cool. Well, glad you're here. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. How am I today? I'm doing good, man. It's the weekend. It's the weekend, man. It's Saturday. We got a pretty lazy Saturday ahead of us. Just um, basically, basically my Saturday is basically gonna involve lifting some weights, drinking some coffee, maybe watching a Lord of the Rings marathon, um, hanging out with my family. Yeah, not a lot happening, you know. I have to write C# today. Nice, you'll love it, man. C#'s wonderful. Ugh. Love me some C#. Okay, so this now, what do we expect here? We expect 4. Yeah, 4. Let's see, solve part 2. That doesn't exist yet, so let's just go ahead and declare that function. We can do, it's going to be very similar. Solve part 2. Iran is only cool if you're a tourist. Living here is something. Oh, I'm also aren't I supposed to pronounce it Iran? Or is it Iran or Iran? Which one, Arvin? I know you've corrected me about this twice, I think, before, and I keep forgetting. I think I'm actually going to move the order of operations around here. I think I'm going to do this down here. I'm also going to calculate the distance down here. Hey, what's up, Bradley? Good to see you, man. How are you? It's going well. Yeah, no, can't complain. It's Saturday. Got a cup of coffee. Don't got to work today. Solving some problems with Go. Life is good. E wrong. I as in feed. A as in often. E wrong. Appreciate it, Arvin. I appreciate you straightening me out on all my dumb American pronunciation of things. So, I guess to solve this part 2, I probably need to use some sort of pointer approach. Not pointer, but, I mean, I guess you could call them pointers. But basically, not pointers in the sense of like a pointer to something in memory, but I basically need to keep track of here's my current, here's my next. As I proceed forward, anytime my current and next fail, I need to back up and move the current back and try again. I mean, I guess, so how I don't know, how would I do this? This is why admin of code problems take me like 6 hours, because I have to think really hard about these things. Not all of them take me 6 hours, but there was, I think last year, the longest problem took me like 6 or 8 hours to solve. See, the problem is I want to back up, but I don't want to go over the number again, right? So, like in this case, 1, 3 is good, right? So we advance, now we're at 3 and we're at 2. That's no bueno. So now we want to look at 1 and 2. But then when we move forward, we don't want to move back to 3. We want to move to 2 and 4, right? I almost wonder if we don't lift up. Yeah, I'm almost wondering if we don't lift up the loop. So see how down here we're doing, okay, so this is what I'm thinking about. So I'm wondering if we don't do this, if we don't do the parsing up here, right? So now we're building our list, our list of levels. And then we I honestly don't know if this is moving in the right direction, but let's say now we move our loop from the isSafe function and we put it up here. And we can still keep track of the direction, right? So we'll still keep track of the direction, that's fine. But to do all this work, basically what I'm thinking is we change the signature to say current level, next level. This is both of these are ints, and then we also pass in our direction, this. And so now we're not looping down here. We're not doing any of this. We're just calculating a distance, right? So we're basically checking, do these two levels pass based on our criteria of passing? And if they don't, so let's say if is safe, and we'll pass in the current, the next, and whatever the current direction is. So if that is safe, then we'll do total plus plus. Now that should still, if we moved everything around correctly, this should still pass. Let's delete this, or let's comment this guy out real quick. How should we? Let's pull all this into a helper method. Function, maybe process line or something like that. I'm just going to copy it for now. That's fine. I'm just going to copy it for now. This is always the problem with part 1 and part 2. It's like, how do you make use of your solution for part 1 in part 2, or do you start brand new? Sometimes it feels like you can, sometimes it feels like you can't. So neither of those passed. So I broke something. If is safe, total increment plus plus. I don't understand. Oh, we don't want to continue anymore. This needs to be... I think that's what was happening. I honestly don't know. Got 21. Okay, so that wasn't the problem. Damn, I ran out of coffee. That's painful, man. Yeah, we're doing old admin of code problems just to try to practice using Go to solve problems like this. So for you students out there, learn the difference between break and continue. Yeah, I don't know what I did with my refactor, but somehow I didn't refactor this in a way that preserved the logic from the previous. What's up, Tree Fingers? How are you? Good to see you. I mean, we only want to ever hit this. We're only going to ever hit this once on the very first time we loop. Doing well. How are you? How's Learning Go? I've been getting some shorts about it in my feed this week. Nice. Yeah, Learning Go's going well. It's cool that I'm showing up in your feed. It's been different. I mean, it's just a different language, you know. So they have different approaches to solving problems. But there hasn't been anything about it where I was like, man, I absolutely hate this language. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm a Go believer, you know. I don't know if I will reach for Go over C#, but at least I know it, and so if I ever do want to use it or have need to use it, I'll be able to use it. So I don't know what I've done here though. I would have fully expected this to work. So we create our levels for the line. Then we're ranging over the levels. And we're assessing which direction things should be moving in. Ah, this is why. This needs to be here. That was being reset on each iteration of our loop. Okay, so we got 14 but wanted 2. Okay, so that's not the only reason why. So why are we getting more? Why are we getting more than we would expect? A lot more. I mean, we're getting a ton more. Look at this. Oh. Again, that's because we're now running a total for all the lines. We don't want to do that. We want a total for just each individual one. Right? Oh, no. So we want to... No, what we had was correct. It's just the way we're doing this is wrong. So now what our is safe is checking is our is safe is checking each level comparison, right? So we don't want to increment there. We only want to increment if we know the whole thing is safe. In which case, yeah, so in which case then we want to do is report safe. And I guess let's initialize this to true. And then here we'll say if report is report safe, then we'll increment the total. And then what we're going to do here well, there's a couple things we're going to do here. But I basically, if we run into a level, if we run into a set of levels that isn't safe, right? For whatever reason, it's not safe. Then the whole report is not safe. So I think the better approach would be is safe equals false, right? Then we can essentially say is report safe is false, and then just break. This is so ugly. Got 418, but want 407. Should omit comparison to bool constant can be. I hate the bang operator. Hey, what's up, Beds Improv? Good to see you, man. Your mom is the goat. She dropped off coffee. Well, that was nice of your mom to drop some coffee. I don't know. I live 3 hours away from my mom, so I don't think she would be willing to drop coffee off at my house. But she does sound like a great mom. So we're getting 418. So why are we getting so many more? So our example puzzle's passing, but our test or our actual inputs succeeding. And that wasn't the case previously. Okay, I'm gonna walk all this back. I'm just gonna put this back the way I'm gonna put everything back the way we had it before we refactored everything. Okay, so this is back where we were before we tried to start solving part 1. Or part 2, I mean. This is solve part 1. Oh, this was our other bug. Okay, so this is back to part 1 is solved. Now we're thinking about part 2. So part 2 essentially has this interesting characteristic where we basically need to be able to compare sets of levels, right? But we also need to be able to say if these two sets are incorrect, we need to be able if this set of levels is unsafe, we want to back up our current level to the one prior and test that. And if that's good, okay, then we proceed forward. So that's where we're trying to refactor the is safe check basically up a level so that we can do that comparison. CA, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Gun? Good to see you. Raphael, good to see you, Raphael. How you doing? Finally, I couldn't join your stream. It was showing stream ended in more than Huh, that's weird. Yeah. Alright, so let's see if we can't do this refactor a little bit more, a little bit smarter. Okay, so we want to essentially bring everything up, right? That's my idea. I don't know if this is right, but that's my idea. I could look at last year's solution, but I feel like that would be cheating, so I'm not going to. We basically want to bring all this up a level. So we're going to say for each line, we want to generate our levels. Then we want to loop over them to create our final list of level numbers. This is complaining, I think, because the result is never used. That's fine, it will be used. And then we want to do the same thing here. We want to range over, right? Okay. I'm gonna rename some of this stuff too. So total safe reports. I'm also gonna rename lines to reports because each line represents a report. And I'm gonna rename this to report like that. Just from just the naming perspective keeps me oriented better that way. Okay. Now, we're not going to pass the report down, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to loop over each level and we're going to make a decision about the level. So, let's just say the report is report safe. We are going to say, yes, it is safe until it's not. Right? So if is report safe, then we'll increment it. Now in here is where we want to get the current level and the next level, just like we are doing down below. And we want to make a decision about whether these levels are safe, right? So ideally we'd have something that is checking to say, is level safe, like this. You know what? I know, chat, I know. I can do this, Let's start with the smallest thing we can refactor. So let's start with a function called is level, or are levels safe, right? So this is the smallest refactor we can do, where we're going to take the current direction, which is a string. You probably can't see that. We're going to take the current level, which is an int, and the next level, which is also an int, and we are going to return a bool. And then we are going to move this check up above. Ah, that's what's screwing us up. I think that's what was screwing up my... So we're going to do if else, that. And then we're going to move this to its own method. Right? What function are we in? We're in the isSafe function. So now we're looking at each level. So we're going to take that and we're going to put it here. Otherwise, return true. And then we're going to say if our level safe, direction, current level, next level. Does that still pass all our tests? Yeah, that still passes. Okay, cool. We successfully refactored and break everything. Okay, so this is where now what I want to do. Sorry, what's up, Gun? You asked me some questions here. Let me roll back a little bit. Hey, Steven, what's your opinion on showing white spaces and controlling them on code formatting level? I'm old school, an embedded guy where every byte matters, so controlling white spaces is critical. I've never actually written code where I show white space. I use a lot of white space in my code personally. It just helps me like think and organize about what I've written. But I know some people really like their code to be super terse. They don't want any empty spaces, but that's just me. So I always put a lot of empty new lines and stuff around my code just to, I don't know, it's a way of organizing code with white space. And it's less about, I don't know, it's less about the code looking nice and more about me being able to reason about the code. Or what the hell am I trying to accomplish here? Let's also rename this method to isReportSafe. And we'll rename this to report. So what I want to do, I basically want to inline all this, right? So I want to say, um, maybe isReportSafe can take an optional value like tolerance, right? So we could do something like this has a tolerance of 0. Tolerance. Now, how do we use that? That's more about, okay, if these levels are unsafe, Just Alvin, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. My brain hurts. I know I've solved this in the past. I know I can solve it. It's just for whatever reason I'm having a hard time thinking clearly about this. I'm also trying to make the code not look more horrifyingly ugly than what it already is, and I'm getting too caught up on that. So let's not worry about that right now, Steven. Let's just get the solution. Yeah? Let's just get this working. So let's make a new function. Excuse me. Let's bring up all this is report safe code. And then let's inline this. Oops. Oh, let's also rename these. I forgot I didn't do that. So we'll say call this reports. We'll call this reports. Okay. Now let's solve part 2. Get the solution down and beautify. You're right, 6-7. You're right. Let's focus. Hey, Pablo. Good to see you, man. Take it from me, it could be worse, right? Yeah, it could always be worse. Things can always be worse. Okay, so for part 2, all we're going to do is we're just going to try to inline this, right? So instead of this being a method we call out to, this will just be a variable we keep track of. Oops. What did I just do? Yeah, this will just be a variable that we keep track of. And excuse me, it will start as being safe. And now we're going to take all this stuff. Excuse me, we're going to put that here. However, we aren't going to do any kind of returning. We are going to... We're going to loop over the levels. And if we find a level that isn't safe, or if we find a set of levels that isn't safe, we are going to make the report unsafe. And I think ideally we break, right? We just break. Now let's check if that still solves that logic, if I have it right, should still solve the first part. So if we go here and we turn this to 2, yeah, okay. So now what we want to do is we just want to give this part 2 solution. The whole reason of moving this logic up is because now we want to add the ability to have some tolerance, essentially. So if the current level and the next level are unsafe, We'd like to check again, but we want to check again with the previous level as the current level, right? Based on the example on the puzzle, right? So this is, imagine we're on this one right here, right? So we're 1 and 3. We have these two numbers, that's current and next. Those are safe, right? So then we advance to the next iteration. Now 3 is current and 2 is next. Those would be unsafe. However, because we have a tolerance of 1 bad level, we should back up and retry this, but use 1 as current and 2 as next, right? And if that passes, then we just advance. Then we just go, then current is 2 and next is 4. That's the idea. Doing AOC. This is admin of code. Yeah, we're just doing old problems, Pablo. Friday was good, man. My Friday was, yeah, nothing to complain about. Ate some pad thai for dinner. It was delicious. Pablo, this is a binary tree. Is it really? This is a binary tree. Well, see, this would help if I actually was smart and could recognize these things. For each number, you have 2 options: read the next or skip one. Yeah, but don't you have to go backwards? Am I thinking about this incorrectly? And you want to find the first safe. Well, no, you have to go through each one. Right? So like this one, you have to look at these two, because this is the criteria we're using to decide if they're safe. So a line of numbers is a report, and a report is only safe if these 2 things are true. So all the levels are either decreasing or all are increasing, and then every 2 adjacent levels need to differ by at least 1 and at most 3. You read the 2 next and evaluate both paths at once. Yeah, that's, well... Oh. Would that be... That might be way simpler than what I was thinking. Hold on. Say that again. Hold on. Hold on. Let me... Yeah, hold on. Let me think about what you just said. You read the 2 next and evaluate both paths at once. So like here for example, if we said 1 and 3, that's safe. 1 and 2 is safe. Now if we move to the next spot, yeah, I feel like well, I definitely think I have to definitely have to convert to a for loop though. Because I think I need to control this a little bit more granularly. So I equals 0. And we are going to go I is less than the length of numbers, and then we're going to increment I. So we still have I. We have I plus 1. Oh, I also need to... This should actually be 4 now in part 2. It shouldn't be 2, it should be 4. So if we were to do this lot, let me try what I have in mind. I don't know if it's the best way or the right way, but we're gonna try it. So in part 2, we have a tolerance of 1, which means if these levels aren't safe, we should be able to say we should be. I know this is ugly. I know this is ugly. We should be able to say our level safe, give it the direction, and instead of current level, we'll still pass next level. We're still gonna pass next level. But here what we're gonna do is we're gonna say levels nums I minus 1. Whoops, sorry. So we actually need this music. I don't like this song. Completely interrupted my thought. Okay, so let's just say if this is safe, right? Then what we actually want to do is we want to continue, but we actually want to advance the I. I want to skip over one. That's just so ugly, and I don't know if it makes any sense. Well, let's try to run it and see what happens. Got 2 but want 4. Okay, so we didn't solve our problem. As you guys can tell, admin of code is going to be a lot of fun. Hold on, let me see. Pablo might have a solution here. Yeah, it's basically like leak code. Yeah. You then move to the first branch, 1, 3, evaluate 2 and 4, 2 fails. You moved 1 and 2. Evaluate 4 and 5. Now you have 1, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, all safe, and you continue. Yeah, so there's obviously a much safer way to do this, and I'm not seeing it. What do you think is the superior default GitHub profile? I didn't know GitHub had default profiles. I thought they just had that one template where it was like, let's see, GitHub default profiles. Are you talking about like the readmes? I didn't know they had different. Yeah, I didn't know they had different default profiles. I thought there was just one. Which is like, I think the initial one is like a list. It's like a bulleted list with some emojis. But I don't have an opinion. Hello, Bolt. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Also, Steven, you've been working. I've been trying to work hard on learning Go. I don't know how effective I've been at it. Man, I'm pissed. The tax department of our country is going frenzy. Own a penny, pay us 35%. That sucks. Yeah, taxes suck, man. I mean, they're a necessary evil, but they do suck. Yeah. It sucks to see your money getting, taken away before it even reaches you. You may be asked to count how many branches exist, etc. So I prefer not making any assumptions on these exercises. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Assumptions are bad things. I wonder if I need to do not I++, but there we go. Now let's try it on our big input and see if it works. God, it's so ugly. It's really ugly code, but I think it works. uh, so we'll try it with the real one. So let's do, this, I don't remember what was it like 450 something? It was like 450 something was the expected. 459. 459. And this is going to be, input txt. Test solved part 2 with puzzle is redeclared in this. What? Oh. Oh no, that shouldn't say part 2, that should say part 1. Runtime error, index out of range. Yeah, so I think this is one of those edge cases that we didn't probably account for, where essentially it fails on the very first step. Right? So you can imagine my solution here has an issue where if we try to, so let's say the levels are not safe on the very first iteration, right? So the I would be 0. So I'm trying to back up. I think, let's see, if I is greater than 0, will that be enough of a guard? Okay, that failed. So we got 441, but want 449. So it definitely handled the thing that blew up. This is where they always get you, because you think you have a solution because your example input works, and then your actual input has all kinds of edge cases in it that you didn't think about. So 441 versus 459. I'm blanking out because I'm trying to decide, do I want to keep doing this or do I want to switch over and work on that links site for a little bit? Hey, what's up, Volk? Hope your coffee's still warm. It is still warm because I'm using an Ember mug. I don't know if you guys have seen these mugs. They're like Bluetooth powered heater mugs where you can basically put your coffee in there, and instead of your coffee getting cold and you having to microwave it all the time, it'll actually keep your beverage hot. You can actually there's actually an app that you need to ask for a sponsorship. I do need, yeah. Well, if Ember sponsored me, I will have made it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I'll know I've made it as a content creator is if Ember sponsors me. But there's actually a mug, or not a mug. There's an app where you can set like where you can set how much like how hot you want it to be. You know, so like if you don't want your tea or your coffee scorching hot. Looks like my mug isn't Bluetooth or isn't paired to my phone right now, so I'm gonna pair it real quick. Oh my gosh, why is that so hard to hold? There you go. Come on, let's pair already. AI ML enabled blockchain integrated cloud native edge computed mug. Yeah, they should have rebranded it to an AI powered mug, you know? I mean, uses AI to keep your coffee warm. Although it doesn't look like my Bluetooth is finding my mug, which is weird. To enter pairing mode, press and hold the power button located at the bottom of your mug till the LED blinks blue. Well, it's blinking blue. I don't know. I'll fuck around with it later. Anyways, there's an app you can control the heat. It's a pretty sweet product. My mother-in-law got it for me like 2 or 3 Christmases ago. Auto detect the liquid, how much to heat it. Yeah, maybe version 2. Yeah, they have a version 2 out. They also have a travel mug, so if you want to take your coffee on the go, you can do that too. I would love you guys all to own an Ember mug, and if you go buy an Ember mug, please please tell them I sent you. This is the if you really are curious in getting one, like I saw Volk was like he didn't even know that existed. If you are interested in getting one, it's ember.com is where you can find them. You can also find them sometimes at like Starbucks. Like if you go into a Starbucks shop, sometimes they'll be there. Um, yeah, pretty good. I wish I had a referral link. Volk started yesterday with Learn Go with Tests. Nice. Yeah, we just finished that up actually. We finished that up 2 days ago, chat, didn't we? On the 13th. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was great. So I hope you're enjoying it. It's a little repetitive, and he does get a little pedantic with like the test-driven development thing, right? So after like the 4th or 5th lesson, you're like, okay, buddy, I know where this is going. But for the most part, I thought it was a very fun book. I thought it was a great way to learn programming while also learning how to do testing in that programming language, which is I think something that like the vast majority of tutorials just like skip over. It's like testing, what's that? You know? So I give it a, you know, 5 out of 5 would recommend. Plot twist. Steven is a stakeholder at Ember. I wish. Uh, Actually, I think Ember is a private company. Is Ember publicly traded? I mean, technically, Ember is a private company. Okay, cool. So I don't have to worry about being a stakeholder there. But I guess technically I'm a stakeholder or a shareholder in a lot of companies because I invest into index funds. So like, you know, I the fund that I put my money in probably has some ownership in Microsoft, in Meta, you know what I mean? So like there's probably a lot of companies I would probably qualify as some sort of a shareholder in. Ember is not one of them though. But if Ember would like to sponsor me, if there's anybody in chat who could please go over to ember.com and let them know I'm shilling their product, I would appreciate it. All right, I think I'm going to take a break from the advent of part 2 of this that I can't seem to solve, and I think we'll spend the next hour or so working on that link site. I know I'm close, but I just there's some edge case that I don't know about. I'm missing 18 reports basically. So we're gonna take the L on that. We're gonna take the L. But we did accomplish what we set out to do, which is we spent some time practicing how to write Go to solve leak code like problems. So now we'll switch over and we'll do a little bit of web dev in Go. Because why not? You know, one thing I didn't actually think about the other day when we were going through random software guy, all testing tutorials are just bad. Yet they're bad because they're too simplistic, right? I think that would be my hot take on the testing tutorials is real applications that people work on and write code for, like the simple like add unit test tutorial isn't very helpful. You know, it doesn't you're like, okay, so how do I transfer this to like a more complex scenario? Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. You should reach to them with the recordings. Yeah. Hey guys, check out my stream where I mention your mug like 6 times. Volk, I'm not sure if this is a thing in Germany with the coffee cup. About Learn Go with Test. It is amazing because you're never going to learn testing in university without a proper module in German. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Volk, you're in Germany? Nice. I'd like to visit Germany one day. When I worked in food, we actually did a lot of there was several vendors that we worked with for our equipment that were based in Germany. Like Germany seems to be very good at manufacturing things. I don't know if I'm making that up, but that's my perception is that Germany has a large manufacturing sector with a lot of skilled engineers. See Artwork Studios. Have a good day, man. German industry is top notch. Yeah. I feel like they have a very like large, high skilled population of very smart science and math people, which I love. So this is where we got to yesterday with this application. So the idea behind this application is basically a link tree site, but built for myself using Go. That's all it is. It's just a link tree site. This is the basic idea we have. So this is going to have an image with some links rendered out. We're just going to stick it into a Docker container and serve it. Now, yesterday and they haven't let it leave to cheaper places like in the US where the manufacturing happens all somewhere else. Oh, for sure. Yeah. The US is, we do not manufacture much of anything. We design a lot, but we do not manufacture a lot. Which I guess is something we're trying to fix, or something the US government is trying to fix. Like, we're in the middle of building that chip fab in Arizona. I think there's one in Arizona and there's one somewhere else. They're trying to bring back manufacturing. I don't know how successful they're going to be with that, but I think the difficult, yeah, what you said is super hard to fix. I think the difficult part with that is just it takes a long time to bring back the skill, right? Because you gotta think for all the manufacturing, you've got to have skilled labor, right? So whether that be people who are skilled at the actual physical work or people who are skilled at like the engineering, like the higher level abstracted work, like that takes, you know, it takes time. You can't just like pop people out who are skilled at those professions, overnight. Do export our work to other countries because it's expensive to manufacture here? Oh, really? Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought Germany did a lot of manufacturing in Germany, but I guess not necessarily. What do I know, man? I'm just a dad in his basement trying to figure out how to write code. Okay, I think step one is okay. There's two things we need to take care of here in our main web go. We need to, or our main.go file. We need to be able to serve this index.html file. We also need to be able to serve the static uh, style file. So my question is, I guess my question I have is the template I think is going to be embedded in my Go application. But what about the style.css? Is this going to be embedded in my application, or is this going to be something? Is this going to be like a static file that sits along? I don't know. So we're going to have to answer those questions. You can embed it, yeah. So you can embed the style.css too in there. I guess I'll ask my good friend Gemini just to confirm, but it sounds like Pablo's like, yeah, you can embed it. Yo. You can embed any file as, well, that'd be, so do I want it to be embedded or do I want to statically serve it? I guess that's the question. Yo, hold on. Go.dev simple web app. We found writing web applications. This had a pretty good example in it, right? So this is where we're handling these are some handlers they've written for the templates. But what about for the static files? Go web app static files embed. Embed? Serving static files using Golang embedded. It is probably taking relative. Here you go. Maybe this will help. The Go embedded all folder syntax embeds all files in a directory and its subdirectory. All files, including those. But I don't know, do I want to embed? That's the question. Do I want to embed it or do I not want to embed it? And why would I want to embed it versus not embedding it? import embedded.go file in the main to serve static assets. Well, this guy embedded a React application. That's kind of cool. The file doesn't exist in the file system, so you skip the file system overhead. So so is it preferred? It's preferred to embed it? Gemini is the bay. Gemini is love. Gemini is life. That's funny. Oh, you're back, man. I thought you were leaving. I thought you were like going, so that's why I said bye, but I guess you're back. Good to see you, man. If it's static, yeah, you can. You get a larger bundle and probably a bit more compile time. Okay. Then I'll do that. Then I'll just embed it. Okay, so how do I serve the templates? Let's do that first, and then we'll figure out how we... So question then. So how do... So let's say I have my HTML file here, right? So I have my HTML file. Why is it not? Oh, I think I need to update my... I think I need to update my invim config. lsp.lua HTML go HTML. See if that fixes it. Josh, thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate it. So I think what my question is, if I have my index file here, which doesn't seem like LSP info. There's only one LSP attached and it's Copilot. So why isn't it? Oh, I also need to update Emmet to do the same. Why aren't my LSPs attaching? .go HTML, right? Let's see. LSP start HTML. Huh. It's like it didn't. It's like it didn't recognize that extension or something. I don't know why. LSP start emit language server. That's not frustrating at all. Neovim go HTML LSP config. By default, doc will not recognize as HTML. Yeah, I added those. I guess I could add these. I don't think I have those set up. Edit in Vim config. Go PLS. File types. File types. I'm gonna do go mod. Go HTML. Have I seen Voldy? No, I have not seen Voldy in a long time, actually. Now that you say that, I mean, it sounds terrible, but I almost had forgotten about Voldy. But I have not seen him in a very long time. LSP start emit language. I know I'm not doing anything with Go at the moment, and I'm just wrestling with Neovim, but I'm trying to get HTML, like LSP and functionality in my Go template, but it doesn't seem like it's working. Go HTML LSP not attaching. I have all that set up. So let me rename this to index.html. That's fine. And if I do that, then now I get things to attach, which is what I wanted. This is what I was trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 5 minutes. Go HTML. Now if I switch it to that, are we still attached? Yeah, we're still attached, but I think that might be because um, so let's go, let's delete that buffer. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the buffer. Huh, it's still attached, so I don't go figure. I don't know why it wasn't working a second ago. So let's call this links, or maybe Stevens links, like that. Okay, so so going back to my original question, if I embed style.css into my application, how does my application know how to resolve this link when the browser sends it? That's the question, right? So let's ask Gemini, because I'm not sure who else to ask. That's a route. Okay. Okay, so I need a handler for that, is what you're saying. So I embed the file, and then in the route, when it sees anything under some prefix or static, whatever, serve that. Okay. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. So we need to define some handlers. So how do we do that? Good thing Pablo's here. Otherwise Gemini would have to be doing a lot of heavy lifting. So how do we define a handler? Which they show me an example of this here. Somewhere here. So this is what my main function needs to look like. Let's just step that out really quick. Is there, does Go have a thing like .NET Watch? Is that something Go does? Oops. There's a third party. Okay, good to know. So if I do go run cmd web main.go, oh shoot, did I just, dang it. I just closed my NeoVim instance. Whoopsies. I forgot what port we told it to listen on. Port 8080, okay. Actually, I don't want to run on port 8080. Let's just do like 777. Allow. I'm guessing it's running. I need to print like a message or something to the terminal that says like, hey, your server's listening. There we go. I love nothing. I love hello. I love. Are you just saying I love things? I love coffee. Okay, so that's how we define a handler, basically, in very basic terms. So what do we need a handler for? We need a handler for the index is what we need a handler for. So this needs to be something like handle index. And to handle our index, what we're going to want to do is we're actually going to want to serve our HTML template, our index.html template. That's what we want to do here. So the question becomes, how does one do that? I'm pretty sure they have an example here somewhere. So in this case, they're loading a page and they're just responding with inline HTML, but somewhere in here they actually use the template functionality. Okay, so here we are. We're getting the title. They're actually getting the title from the request. Template.parse files and then t.execute, where t is what? T is just something that's brought in by the template, by the HTML template thing. So we'll do so t equals error equals template. This is a module, but we want the HTML one, not the text one. Dot parse reads from the file system FS instead of the host operating system. So I don't think this is going to work, but I'm just going to try it. Let's see, what does Copilot say? Okay. Copilot says to return an error, which is fine. Oh, I can't put them on new lines like this? Oh, wow. I have to leave them all in the same line? Otherwise it gets unhappy, huh? So I don't think this is going to work because I don't think this is the proper path to the template, right? But I'm just again, this is like part of learning, right? You're trying to explore what it is you don't know. And one of the best ways to do that is just to break stuff. So it's unable to load the template, which makes sense. I think, though, we can fix this by giving it the proper path. So if the application is running in this folder, we need to go up 1, up 2. So up 2 directories, then into templates, then the index.html. Like that. I think that will be able to resolve. They really don't have a go watch command. You can't do go watch. That's crazy that doesn't exist. You are running at the root. Well, no, I'm running at the root of main.go, right? Oh no, you're right. You are right. Yep, you are right. Yep, Pablo's right. I'm running. I think this would work if I CD'd into CMD. But Pablo's right. I think because I'm running from the root, I'm actually resolving it incorrectly. Yep, there we go. So Pablo's right. Yep, it makes complete sense. So we'll go back up because I would like to run this from the root. So this actually needs to be just templates like that. However, we're going to embed this, kind of like what Pablo was saying earlier. We're going to embed this, so then in the future, we're not going to actually try to parse it from the file system. We're going to parse it, or we're not going to parse it from the host file system. We're going to parse it from the embedded file system. Cool. So how do we do that? How do we embed it? This would be, I think what we want to do is parse FS, right? But I don't know how to get FS. I don't know how to do any of this, chat. Oh, you're totally fine. You're not bothering me. Hey, what's up, Wilo Gamer Pro? Good to see you, man. Execute it. Yeah, you gotta execute it. Harsh serving static pages. Yeah, it's just gonna be a static page. It's gonna be like, we could accomplish the same thing with just an index.html file, but to try to learn about like basic web dev in Go, that's why we're doing it this way. Excuse me. Template caching. There is an inefficiency in this code. Render template calls parse files every time a page is rendered. A better approach would be to call parse files once at no, I want to embed the template. I mean, I still think I can benefit from what he's saying, but I don't want to parse it from disk. I want to take it from the actual learn. I think the learn go with tests actually had an example of this, didn't it? Templating. Embed. There we go. So we have templates, embedded.fs, then we parse fs. Temple.execute. Okay, so let's try that now. So we probably don't want this to all be in our main file, but this is fine for now, in my opinion. So we'll do var this. So this is like a directive that says, hey, go embed. Yeah, so, but if this is in the main file, does this actually need to be like this? Does this need to mimic our project structure? I think it does, right? Now it's relative. Gosh, man, Pablo's already on it. Now it's relative. Okay, so now why is this complaining? Declarations following Go embedded directives must be of type string, byte, or embedded.fs. Must import embedded when using Go embedded directives. No matching files found? Oh, whoops, sorry. Invalid pattern syntax. Well, how do I tell it to go up? Renell, isn't best practice to use full path? Isn't best practice to use full path? I don't know, honestly. What should I put here? So this is my project directory. So this is the file where I'm embedding the templates at, but my templates actually live over here. But I don't think I want to have an absolute path in my code, right? This is kind of where like I'm not really sure. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. I'm not really sure what the right way is to do this. You know, not having ever done any web development before in Go, I'm not really sure what the standard convention is for any of this. This doesn't seem great, but it seems like an absolute path would be even worse here. Go embed relative paths. So Go allows embedding file. Okay. The paths are interpreted relative to the directory containing the source file. So this is relative to main. Use forward slashes as path separators. Patterns cannot contain ... or empty path elements. Oh, so it needs to actually be like, okay, I see. I think I see what you were saying, Renee. I think I see what. Yeah, there. I think Renee, what Renee was saying. I think I understand. So you're saying from. You're saying I basically need to say. Well. No, I don't think I understand. I think I'm still confused. Path to file and parent directory. This is intentional. Oh, so the way I want to do this actually wouldn't work, huh? Oh. Yeah, I think I'm just not doing it the way you should do it, basically, is what I'm gathering. It's either going to be from root, from go bin, or from project root, me think. Yeah. Like drag the template. Yeah, exactly, Paul. That's exactly what they're saying. And there's that this GitHub issue is basically saying if you don't want to do that, then you need to have a package where you have the embedded variable, and then you need to import that embedded variable from the other package into your web package. So this is not really the right structure for doing this, I think. Yeah. Yep. So I think actually the right if I understand the convention, it would be something like this: internal, and then maybe assets, like that. And then this would be a package. Kinetic Solutions, thanks for subbing. So this assets would be a package, and we'd want to put style, or maybe just CSS, and then templates. Maybe? I don't know. and then we'll just do style.css here. I mean, the fact of the matter, there's not really like a wrong way to do this when you're learning, because if you get it wrong, well then you're gonna figure it out. So delete, I guess, for now. But then I think I need to have a go mod, right? Main.go. And then this would be package assets, I guess, like that. And then I need to create a why is this package main and not package web? I feel like it should be package web, but I have no idea. Like, what defines the that's the other thing. Steven, you have more than one Go version installed? Do I really? Steven, oh, Steven, do you have more? I don't think so. Let me look. Go -- version. I don't think I do. Go version. This is the version I have installed. Hey, it's code. What's up? Or at least that's the one that's on my path. That's the one I'm using. Go mod defines the package. So if I don't, okay, so based on that, we have go mod here, right? So what are these folders defining? Right? How do I create an assets package? Do I have to have a go mod file in here and then a go mod file in here as well? That's the part I don't understand. I don't understand the Go package system. Does Go mod have a config file? Is that what you want to see? The package name needs to be the same in the folder for all Go files. Go mod is only for the root. Okay, it's only for the root. So then if I want to create an assets package, I can put a main.go here and then make this package assets. Is that what you're saying? And if I want to, yeah, hello anonymous. Thanks for trying to straighten me out. So I think if I do this like this, templates star. Why is this complaining? Go embedded directives must precede a var declaration. I don't know what that means. Oh, it means I need to do like templates. Yeah, templates. And then I need to do go embed CSS. I think you need to have the embedded over the var. I think it was upset because I needed a variable. Yeah, I think I needed an actual declaration underneath the directive. I think that's why it was upset. This is one major issue for me with Go, but if I understand it correctly, it was never meant to be friendly out of the box. Well, I don't necessarily know if it's a Go problem. It's more of a Steven skill problem. You know, it's a Steven skill issue, not necessarily a Go issue, I think. I just don't know what I know what I want to accomplish. I just don't know how to accomplish it, right? That's whenever you move frameworks or you move languages, you know, it's, well, I know I want to serve static files, like, you know, but like, how do I do that in this way, right? I know how to do that in a minimal API. So how do I do that with a Go web server? And it's just a lot of stumbling over yourself, right? And asking questions. Doesn't Go have a scaffolding option? I actually don't know. That's a good question. It would be really cool if they did. Let's see, Go scaffold project. Because you know, like .NET has templates, so you can say like .NET new. Oh, that's cool. A command line application that generates files and projects from a template. In order to generate the output files from a template, Go scaffold generate and then some flags. So what kind of, I wonder what kind of, does it have any templates out of the box? You can look at the examples folder to check out some examples. Oh, it looks like you kind of have to build your own templates, huh? Or with, at least with this tool. Oh, here's a web dev Cody video. Better test stack is a TL. Oh no, that's not Go. I don't think that's related to Go. Hey, what's up, Joe Does AI? How do you check your chat? I just look to the left. I just no, I don't mean to be a jerk about it or an asshole about it. I don't know, flippant. I just have my OBS like open on my other monitor, and so then I have one monitor that has half of my screen on stream, and then I have another monitor, or half of that screen is like a browser with Discord and the lo-fi generator, and then the other monitor has OBS on it, and OBS has my chat in there. Anonymous said not really. Oh, that sucks. Well, it would be really nice if Go had that, because it would be a lot easier, I think, probably to get started. But I'm sure once you've done this once, you've done it 100 times, so it's just about practicing. Joe Does AI. Wow, the data usage would be high. You mean the data usage for, like my bandwidth, like my internet bandwidth? Is that what you mean? In order to stream? I haven't looked at. I mean, I'm guessing I do use a lot of data if I'm streaming for 3 or 4 hours a day, on my ISP. But I don't. My internet plan doesn't have like a. It doesn't have like you can only use so many gigabytes of data. It doesn't have it. It's just unlimited. So I guess I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, if you were paying by the gig, it would probably be difficult to stream. Now what? Now what do we do, people? Now what we want to do is we want to bring that template variable into here, right? That's what we're doing. So we want to do assets dot templates, and then we want to do I guess I want to do index.go HTML, I think is what I want. I don't know what I should pass here, right? I honestly don't know. Looks like a pattern, so I think this will work. Simple what? A simple web server that serves a links page using static files. Go run. Let's see if this works. Go run. Command line arguments is not. Oh, so it needs to be main. All right, so if we've done this correctly, we should still see a white page when we go to. Okay, so it was unable to load the template. So either it's not there, meaning it's not in my compiled application, or this actually needs to be templates /. Which either way, I don't know. We are working with Go, Joe Does AI. Uncapped unlimited is a must for streaming. Yeah. Well, every internet plan I've ever had so far since having my own internet plan, like since I moved out with my wife when we were in college. There we go. It works. Okay, so now we have our templates embedded, or we have our files embedded. So going back to Pablo's, right now we don't have, we're not actually returning that style.css. So we need to add a handler for that, don't we? Also, it'd probably help if we put something on the screen. So let's just say H1 Stevens links, and then to Pablo's point, we need a func handle CSS. Okay, now Copilot is doing this for us. So if I remember right, in the built-in web server, they don't have pattern matching, right, for the response handlers. Go server handler pattern matching. Yeah, so they don't do that. So server handler pattern matching, while Go itself does not have a native pattern matching feature in the same way some functional languages do, its net third-party provider provides ref support. Okay, I don't want to use third-party. I just want to use the built-in. Routing enhancements. What's this? So I think what I want to do is I just want to say http.handle func CSS like that, and then I want to handle the CSS, and then in my handler I need to do something here. I need to do something like what they're doing in their code. Edit handler. Where's the definition for that? It's right here. Load page. Where's the load page function? They're just reading a file from the OS. So how do I read a file from? I want to http.serve file fs. Yeah. Are we mad? Cannot use r.url.path as fs value. Oh. I don't think Copilot put these in the right. URL path. Well, let's just do URL.path. So what's path? Format.print line. I don't know what you think of backseating, but I think you could use the serve HTTP API method instead of a single route handler. I'm okay with you guys offering me opinions. I might not always understand what you're asking me or telling me to do, but I'm always happy to take your suggestions, especially in a situation where I'm writing a language or building in a language that I have no idea about. You know what I mean? I'm just stumbling through the dark here. Okay, Steven's link. Yeah, this is what I want. Okay, cool. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but that's what I was hoping for. Func handle CSS should be what? Oh, should be capitalized? Nice. Yeah, nice, right? Exactly. Yeah. I think we're at the point now where I could technically start designing the front end by just putting my styles here and my HTML here. So for example, we could do class equals red. I mean, I guess technically all of it could be in one file, right? Like we could actually just serve a single HTML file and just serve it all up from there. But in the let's just do color red. Okay, we also need to figure out how we can like how would you do like hot reload in Go, right? Like how would you be able to make changes to the files and then have stuff automatically? Wonderful. Look at us. We're we're doing web development in Go. What do you know? Beautiful. Anonymous community tools. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Although honestly, I can just Command R, can't I? And I mean, Command R is fine. That's old school. We can do this old school way. But let's just do a quick search to see what this looks like. Go watch web development. Here we go. Go watch. Go watch is a command line tool that builds and restarts your Go project every time you save a Go or template file. Air is a good choice. Air. Go Air. Live reload for Go apps. Colorize log output, customize build. If you want to config build command and run command, you can use like the following command without the config file. This is probably overkill for what I need at the moment, but I'm definitely gonna star this since I'm just literally editing static files that get served on each request. It sucks that that's not in the CLI though. Most of the Go stuff depends on community or just the standalone Go binary. Fair enough. I do think that's kind of crappy they don't have that built. I don't know. I don't understand why you wouldn't want a watch command. If you have a run command, why wouldn't you want a watch command? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with Control R. I mean, I'm doing something that's so simple, right? Like I'm just painting links on a page. Okay, so I have a set of resets that I use on almost every front-end project. So let me go get that really quick. Man, I haven't done front-end stuff in forever. I can't tell you guys. I cannot tell you guys the last time I actually did anything on the front end. I haven't written CSS or HTML or Vue or React in probably 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's been a long time. Whereas I just have a file that has like a CSS reset thing in it. Where did it go? I think I went over it. Oh, I hear somebody upstairs. Oh, it's already 8 o'clock? Holy crap. The admin of code thing completely distorted my time, my sense of time. Okay, so these are my resets. CSS resets. I'm going to put my site styles here. And then the first one is just going to be HTML and index. Both are going to, or not index, body. These are going to get a height of 100%. And then I'm also going to have some stuff set on my root. So font size is going to be 16 pixels. I also want to use some fonts. I want to use Cascadia Cove as my font on this website, so I think I need to get some font files in here too. You mean hot reloading for static content? Well, you need to implement that yourself. Probably some WebSocket SSC connection with a directory watcher implementation and then some JavaScript. Yeah, it's probably overkill to figure out how to do that. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking just go. Oh yeah, and we are embedding it, so we're not actually reading it from the directory. So if I make a change, will that actually show up if I Control R? Or do I actually need to rebuild? I guess I do need to rebuild, huh? So maybe I do want go. Maybe I do want the air thing. Steven's link change. Yeah, so I do have to, oh crap. So I really do need to, I really do want that air command since I'm embedding it. Just shows you how ineffective I am. So how do I use it? Go air. Okay. How do I install it? Just like this? Appreciate you guys hanging out with me for so long this morning. I've been live for almost 4 hours, and there's been quite a few of you who've stuck around with me for an hour or more, so I appreciate you guys. For less typing, you could add alias air. First, enter into your project. You can initialize the air.toml configuration file. Huh. So is it in my path now? Yeah, it is. Okay. So if I do air init, I don't think this is right though. You could also make the template and embed code to be a function instead, so you can maybe use some env var to see if you read from the dir or embed it. Yeah, I could do that. I'm trying to avoid, though, making it more complex than it needs to. Yeah, you probably need to change the build command and probably also the air watches. And probably the bin, I guess probably the bin command too, maybe? Okay, let's see if so if I run this, I'm guessing I'm gonna get an error, right? If I run air, I'm gonna get an error. Yeah, because there's nothing there. So then let's see if we can't, through just reading this file, if we can understand what the heck we're supposed to do with it, yeah? So test data dir, I don't know what that's for. The root is the current, that's fine. Temp dir is temp, that's fine. So if we do bin, so I think actually we want to do go build, this is fine, but I think we actually want to do cmd web main.go, I think is what we want to build. And then include extensions. Well, yeah, we want to include CSS. We want to include Go, HTML. Well, actually, we don't need to include those because those are just being embedded, right? That's the part that's fucking me up. Is we're not necessarily reading from the disk, I think. Or maybe this is maybe these are the ones it's watching. So maybe we should actually include those. CSS, Go HTML. I honestly don't know. I'm trying to make assumptions by by reading the file. Okay, so it errored, but it looks like it's trying to serve my site. It says, let's see, cannot be loaded before because running scripts is disabled on the system. For more information, see execution policies, blah, 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 blah. We can fix that error, I'm sure. So now there's Stephen links changed, but I don't think we got our CSS file. Did we? Oh no, we did. Yeah, we got it right. There's no padding or anything there. So then let's see if this error thing works. So if I go to here and I change this to that, well, obviously I have to control R, but this seems to be working. Cool. Well, the build command outputs to temp main.exe, and if they change, you need to build the binary again. Yeah, so I think this is working. So the way I understand this is the bin it's going to run. This is the thing this air program is going to run, main.exe, and this is the command to generate that main.exe. The one question I do have, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to do on this, but one question I do have about this, I lost my train of thought. Crap. Well, obviously we need to fix the error. We need to fix this. This has something to do with this is more about PowerShell than anything, so I need to fix that. And you can see, look, it says internal assets index.go HTML has changed, and then it rebuilt, which is good. That's what I want. Shit, I lost. Oh, tests. That's what I was gonna ask. So we have this Go application, which is just going to be a web app that serves a static page. So I think it would actually be interesting to test this using Playwright, right? So we could have Playwright browse to the page, inspect it for certain things. Maybe we could have it take a screenshot. So given our setup here, oh, we also need to ignore the temp directory, don't we? Temp. included. How would I set up Playwright in here? I don't think Playwright has a Go library, so we'd have to use TypeScript. Playwright.dev. But Playwright does have the ability to start a server. Configuring a web server. So we can start a web server before our test run. So what we could do is we could initialize a new Playwright project, and then we could say, okay, the server command you're going to run is going to be go run and then the path to that entry file, and then the URL, which is whatever we tell our server to listen on. So I think that's what we'll do. But we're going to do that next time, because I'm going to go upstairs and hang out with my family, I think, because I hear them up and moving around. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be the end of my adventures in Go for today. I'll be back again tomorrow to revisit my my advent of code practice and maybe more work on the link site. Actually, the link site should be pretty straightforward now, because really all that we have to do is write the HTML and write the CSS. There's really no functionality to the site beyond that. Clicking links. Before I go, I'll do my customary wrap up. If you want to find us outside of the stream, the best place to find us is in Discord, which Stream Elements has been posting the link to my Discord. It's a very simple link. It's just discord.stephenfreeborn.com if you'd like to hang out with us there. If you're curious, Arvin, of course, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I stream. I appreciate it. If you're curious about my schedule is almost every day. I shoot to do every day from 4:15 a.m. to about 7 a.m. and then on a weekend day like today, I might go a little later. So today we went to about 8:15 in the morning, but that's Central Standard Time. So if you see me around, please stop in and say hi, even if it's just to say, hey, Stephen, good to see you again. Always like hearing from people. It's nice to see familiar faces. And with that, I think I'll leave you guys. Yeah? Artwork Studios, we love these. Well, I appreciate that, Artwork Studios. I'm having a lot of fun doing them. I'm going to keep doing them as long as I'm having fun, and it's good to know other people enjoy it too. All right, guys. Have a great Saturday. If I don't see you tomorrow morning, have a great Sunday. If it's already Sunday for you because time zones are weird, I hope you're having a great Sunday. Otherwise, I'll see you guys maybe in the comments of a short or video, or maybe bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, chat. Bye, guys. Bye, Artwork Studios. Bye, Arvin. Bye, Anonymous. Oh, I missed a question earlier by one of our members, Garav. Why learning Go? Just because. So if you're still here, Garav, just because I wanted to learn Go. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye, chat. Bye. See y'all.